Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy MKS here. Another video, part 3 of my political idol policies. And I'll say, I hope someone out there enjoys the video somehow. Sorry if I'm a bit tired, it's nearly 1 in the morning, but so I think this might be my last video for tonight, and then I'll try and upload some more tomorrow. But so anyway, I hope someone out there enjoys this video. My voice isn't too tired or whatever. It probably normally is anyway. But I'd say I'd love to hear what people think about these policies. Am I being naive, or do you think they're workable? Or do you think I need to do more research? What research do you think I should do? And maybe I'm being quite naive with my figures and stuff like that. So anywho, I was thinking of it as being Thursday, but technically it's Friday now. But anyway, so yeah, as I say, I'd love to hear your opinion, but I'm going to get on with the list. And if you've got any questions about my views or about politics or anything like that, please stick on topic. But if you post either in the live stream chat or in the comment section, I'll do my best to answer when I can. If you go off topic, I probably won't. I probably will ignore the question. But if you do stay on topic, I will try and answer. I promise. Anywho, and I'll try not to be like a politician where I avoid the question and stuff like that. But anyway, so 21. Once again, just going back through some of the older points about having the lowest possible taxes, more freedoms, less state, less regulation, more libertarian views, and that sort of thing. I'm generally of the libertarian philosophy, although I've been unemployed for long, so it's a kind of a strange dilemma, if that makes sense. And I suppose being in the UK, in America, the libertarian movement would say people should have the right to bear arms. Not armed bears, but bear arms. That's right, the name of that joke of mine. Sorry, that was supposed to be a dyslexia joke, but anyway, sorry. So I'm not used to that, because here in the UK we've not had guns for God knows how long. So there are 1 or 2 areas, and I sort of think there should be a minimum wage, because that protects the lowest paid workers. So there are areas where I probably disagree with many libertarians, but a couple of areas. But mostly I sort of agree with the areas of low tax, more freedom, more choice. I'm an anti-imperialist, but I think it should be done through ways which don't violate people's freedom and choice about what they do with their money, their body, their time, and whatever. I mean, yeah, some of these ideas might be a bit naive. I'd love to have the lowest possible tax that we can get away with, possibly listen to other people about figures, see what the lowest tax we can get away with is, and also I dream to get rid of corporation tax and VAT, if that was possible. I don't know if that would be possible, but I still hope to support the poor, but just in different ways, more free choice ways, I think. But anyway, I hope to come to that in due course. But anyway, 22. On that note, I hope to support empathy, like in education, where people give to charity of their own free will, rather than the state tell them to do it, or rather than be taxed. So instead of having more taxes, there'd be more charity, but actually that charity work would go towards helping people to have more homes, to have their own house, to help the homeless people, around the world. Again, I mainly want to go be international. A lot of the countries I want to help as an anti-imperialist will be, as I said, what I talked about before, like in Africa, Asia, and places like indigenous communities and so forth, which I've talked about before. Please check out my other videos for that, because I've already covered that, so I don't want to repeat too much if I can help it. But yeah, so it's there to be taught in schools, but more charity and less taxes, because that's more choice. Here in the UK, a lot of people complain about having food banks and things like that for poor people, but I think a lot of people want more. The rich pay more taxes, and they want more benefits. But in a way, I don't understand why people are against food banks, but think that it's better to have benefits when people are forced. At least with food banks, people choose to give those things away. But yeah, I would love to help people, but not in the way socialists or communists want to do it, or very left-wing people who want to do it through taxes and force and control and things like that. Don't know if that makes sense, but that's my opinion anyway. And for now, at least, I'm sticking to it. But yeah, so empathy would be taught in education and things like that, instead in school and all that sort of stuff. And more charities, as I say, and less taxes, and possibly more tax cuts for things like healthy foods and ethical companies, and also to encourage ethics in enterprise and things like that. 23, I hope support schools and things like that, especially for people with learning disabilities across Asia and Africa, like dyslexic schools in Asia and Africa. Also things like food aid, water aid, shelter, trying to help the poor in places like India, where so many people, I think it's like 70 million people, I think I heard the figure, during the Homeless World Cup. I think it was 70 million people in India are homeless, so I hope to help as many of those as possible. Like I'd love to help as many people have homes as possible, and food and shelter and things like that. And fundraise for those ideas through, like, if I get enough views on YouTube, I can help more of those causes, and maybe more people on YouTube can also do stuff like that and donate some money and things like that. And maybe if I organise myself enough, maybe during Christmas, like help out with homeless shelters and things like that. Sorry, I do know, I do realise now that, well, every now and then I start to remind myself that, start to remember rather, that a lot of these are not specifically policy ideas, which I talked about them being policy ideas. So I apologise if I went a bit off track, but they're sort of my political ideals, or what I stand for anyway. So they might not all necessarily be policy ideals, but some of them are, of course, as I say. But anyway, so I hope to fundraise, support poor people, support 10% people in every possible country, or their families and things like that. And different causes that I support. I have to find ways, like, I love to work with people to set up like lotteries and things like that, which people can buy. Like, they pay £1 a ticket, and half the money goes to charity, and the other half goes to the winner of the lotteries. But if that makes sense, again, some of these ideas might be a bit naive, but I thought I'd try and express them anyway, and see what people think, and see what I could achieve. 24. As an anti-imperialist, I wish to support anti-imperial causes and countries across Asia and Africa, Iraq, Vietnam, countries that have been colonized, South Africa, Central Africa, all over Africa and Asia, again, indigenous communities and things like that, in terms of like looking at what rights they should have and supporting them financially and things like that, and also like democracy as well. 25, I hope to support world's republics that I've talked about before, and like help them to lobby together, and also have more rights internationally and more support internationally, like international communities supporting republics more and all that sort of stuff. And republics could like network together and trade with each other, invest in each other, and things like that. 26, once again, hope to support countries that were colonized, and also I've talked about before, like supporting countries that have been divided up, like India, China, that were split up from where they originally were, Argentina, Ireland, and countries like Morocco and Spain and so forth, to sort of help them to network with each other, so it could sort of go some way to making up for the fact that they were divided. 27, I hope to encourage ethical enterprise and support, and reward companies that have been ethical through like PR and stuff like that. So companies that are giving the most to charity, rather than force them to give taxes, like they do it through choice, but they're rewarded with more customs, so they have an incentive to do so. 28, I hope to fundraise for people who have been through natural disasters or through different problems, to sort of turn negatives into positives, and things like that. 29, I hope to network together with people with things in common with me, sorry. I know it's a bit of a biased sort of thing, but like work together with my fellow dyslexics and things like that. And also hope to interview politicians, like dyslexic politicians or politicians of colour and things, and groups like that, especially minority and disadvantaged communities. And point 30, I hope to keep making videos like this and try and improve as I go along about my political things, what I stand for. And maybe I should take a bit more time to research and things like that, and be a bit more patient with researching. I know I don't like to read a lot, and I don't have a huge attention span and all that. So even if I watch something on, like even if I watch a YouTube video, I won't necessarily focus as much as I would, or wouldn't be able to focus as much as I'd like to, and things like that. And maybe one more thing I think I'll finish on is like politicians taking the least amount of expenses. Like I think maybe I'm being naive, as people have said before, like politicians on minimum wage and taking the least amount of expenses, and like maybe they could do second and third jobs where they make more money, but it's the best value for money for the taxpayer. So as ever, I'd love to hear what your opinions are. Do you think my ideas are naive? Do you think there's something I should learn? Do you have any suggestions? Like maybe you could send a link of something you think I should learn about, or do you think my figures are not quite up to scratch, or I need to improve on stuff? Or is there any ideas I've shared that you dislike, and is there any ideas that I've shared that you like, or even love, or heaven forbid even hate? So please let me know what policies you dislike and like. I should say the best the last thing. I hope you'll like at least some of them, but yeah, I'd love to hear your opinions, even if you disagree. And but please keep them polite. But I especially hope to hear from people who might agree with me or find it at least interesting. Anyway, I probably should go to sleep now. So I hope I didn't do too bad with these videos. Peace and love.